Hey guys, welcome to today's session. I'm running a little bit slow today. I apologize, I'm 5 minutes late to starting the stream. I was also scrambling to turn the lights on just because I realized how dark it was when I looked at myself in the camera. Welcome guys, welcome. How are we all doing? Oh, absolutely did not mean to do that. Like I say, I'm working on slow mode today for some reason. My brain is not braining. For some reason, this screen seems really small. Is there a way to make this bigger? I don't know. Welcome to the session, guys. Hope everybody is doing well. If somebody could just confirm you can hear and see me, that would be fantastic. Quantum Ghost, how are we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good and had a fantastic day today. Bit of a weird one today, actually. I should probably load up TradingView as we're going to be taking a look at some markets. Bit of a weird one. I haven't seen this happen in a few months. At least not that I can remember. There's a bit of a decoupling going on between gold and silver. And gold currently up 1.1% on the day, while silver is down 0.81%. A little bit odd. Let's take a look at the coefficient, correlation coefficient with gold and silver. Oh, where is it? I don't think I can have more than that many, can I? Correlation coefficient. So if we put, what are we on? Silver. So if we take a look at gold. If you've never looked at the I forget what's it called? Correlation coefficient. I always get mixed up with those two words. If you've never looked at the correlation coefficient, essentially what this does is it measures how an asset moves relative to another asset. So mainly for diversification purposes. But if you're trading, for example, gold and silver, you know that both of those assets generally move in the same direction for the same period of time, usually due to the fact they are basically in the same asset class, same as euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss. All of these different pairs kind of move within the same directional bias. NASDAQ, S&P, the Dow. So what you'll find is we have a baseline of 0. We have an upper mark of 1 and then a lower mark of -1. 0 is where the assets move independently from one another, meaning that there is no correlation between the two assets. 1 means that they are moving exactly the same. So when one goes up a tick, the other asset goes up a tick. And -1 is when one asset goes up a tick, the other asset would be moving down a tick. That's what the correlation coefficient shows. And it's interesting sometimes to look at it like this because if we take a look at silver, the last time silver was this decoupled was August 2025. I mean, there's been times where it's spiked lower, but nothing kind of this extreme. I actually used to use this as a trading opportunity. And I mean, take from this what you will, is what do we notice? I mean, we can go on any time frame. Generally, the higher the time frame you go, the less variance that there is, because there might be intraday moves that, for example, euro dollar and pound dollar, more so, let's say Lagarde is speaking on behalf of the ECB, there might be a slight uptick in euro dollar, but not in pound dollar. Therefore, there might be a little bit of an intraday variance. But on the daily time frame, pretty much there's nothing really happening or no difference whatsoever. So what we can notice here is when we're looking at gold and silver, is that, and I mean, this is only since 2017 and nothing is guaranteed, but 90% of the time, pretty much, I would say it basically sits at 1. So we know when gold is moving to the upside or to the downside, that silver is also doing the same. What's interesting is that every time they decouple, there's always a mean reversion play at stake. It's very, very rare. In fact, it's only at one time has it ever come near to -1. Now, it's not easy to trade. For example, when this happens, and I mean, already, for those that know me, for those that come to these sessions on a regular basis, you know I like to go off on tangents. And this is me starting the session off with a tangent. It's not as if this presents straight away a trade setup. However, if there's no black swan event, if there's no kind of market breaking news that, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe Russia's just destroyed all of the gold reserves in the world and silver has just become the new global currency, right? Of course, that's a sort of black swan event or a global shift, a macro shift, where we would go, okay, well, the assets are likely going to decouple because there's no more gold and there's a lot more silver. If that's not the case, then we know that generally 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, we're going to mean revert from this level. Like I say, that doesn't give you an opportunity to just straight away buy gold or buy silver or buy the assets that are decoupled, but it gives you an idea that one of them is likely going to catch up with the other one and start moving together again soon. If it's an appreciating asset like gold and silver, like metals, like equities, for example, generally you can go, well, okay, let's say the S&P is moving higher. The NASDAQ decouples slightly, comes down here. Okay, well, potentially, we already know the equities are bullish markets. If it's in an uptrend, okay, well, maybe we can look for the mean reversion on NASDAQ. You can build this into algorithms because this is very systematic. It's very kind of rules-based. You know what you're going to be looking for, especially around the correlation coefficient. I have not built this into a strategy, just FYI, so I don't know if you can make it work. I'm presuming that you can, but it's just an interesting idea. And the reason I'm pointing it out for the guys who are jumping in the session now is that we're seeing a downtick, specifically intraday, on the price action between gold and silver, which is interesting because I think I've got a buy stop at all-time highs here. Let me bring MetaTrader up. Yeah, so here's my buy stop on silver, which has kept me out of it, whereas gold has continued to move higher. History. Yeah, gold. Yeah, gold has just continued to move higher. Seeing some pullback now, but yeah, interesting times. Interesting. I've been smacked about today. To be fair, I was short on dollar yen. Only trades that I've had today. Entire history today. Only 2 trades I've had today were both shorts on dollar yen. Same system. Took 2 entries. Stopped on both of those. I'm now short dollar yen and long on dollar yen now. And now going into drawdown. This is off an inside day, I believe. Actually, no, it's not. That's not my inside day system. Ignore me. So yeah. I also had. So for the guys that know my second Darwin LVFZ, I had a pretty bad start to my morning this morning. Quantum Go said, can see you, hear you perfectly, but yes, screen is small. Let me zoom in a little bit. Maybe that's a little bit better for you. I have it very zoomed out. I don't like my screen zoomed in. Dr. Ojo, hi Kieran, how are you doing today? I am very, very well, my friend. Hope you're well too. I just realized I got a can of Pepsi Max here. I'm going to crack that open. So if you hear it, it's not a can of beer. It is just Pepsi Max. Canis Lupus, how are we doing, my friend? Welcome to the session. Silver's killing me today. Yeah, just talking about silver. Nasty thing today. Rob, hey, handsome. I appreciate all these compliments, guys. I appreciate it. How are we doing? So I'm going to split that down me. Oh, God. Best not have done that. This was a present off the missus for Christmas. Yeah, so LVFZ, my second Darwin, took a bit of a hit this morning. As you can see here, we're down 1.52 on the quote, 1.29% on the day. And what's more kind of painful on that, let me bring my server over. So this is my FTMO account. Yesterday, I was up at 9% on my FTMO challenges and took this fat L on gold today. Now, it's a bit annoying because what has happened is that strategy, the one on gold, Alexa, going down to 1. Thank you very much, sweetheart. That strategy on gold, for some reason, due to the time it entered overnight, did not calculate the stop correctly based on ATR because it has an ATR-based stop, and therefore it didn't set a stop. So I woke up this morning short on gold, and it was offside in a disgusting way. So I made the decision just to close that position. I closed it on LVFZ. I closed it on my FTMOs and took a bit of a chunk off my FTMO. My FTMO, I am risking 3 times what I do at master level. So yeah, it was a little bit gross. I mean, you can see the drop off here. Let's just go on this one. So I was up. I'm hoping FTMO don't kill me for this in terms of like kill my consistency score. It's still quite high. I think it was 95 before that accident. Oof, God, yeah, that could have been bad if I'd have hit 10K daily loss. So you can see at the peak, we're at like 9%. I think we hit 218 somewhere over here. So it was at 9%, and then that we're starting to recover from a little drawdown, and then that's just absolutely cated it, which is super unfortunate, but it is what it is. You know, down 2.5% on the day. It's, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. I will make that back. It just might delay passing the phase ones by a month or two, which it is what it is. I've been taking these challenges have been active since the 22nd of September, 2025. It is what it is. There's nothing that we can do about it. The worst thing that I could do is just go on full tilt and just start 10xing the risk on everything, and you know, then seeing this 2.5% drawdown turn into a 5%, a 10%, blowing the account. So I don't mind. It's going to take some time. And I want to highlight this is exactly the reason that I have a second portfolio, which is LVFZ, to test my strategies before they move to XAQP. XAQP is my final, it's my retirement plan, let's say. I don't want any strategies on XAQP unless I've seen that it performs live, unless I've seen that there is no issue or exposure on those systems to risk outside of, you know, capital risk. So what I mean by that is, with every system that's included in XAQP, it goes through a rigorous check of, does it have certain filters to stop it from getting slipped, to stop it from trading poor conditions when spread's larger, to only trade through certain windows, certain timeframes. Can I trade turn the systems off? Can I replace the systems with another strategy? XAQP is the final ground for systems that have proven themselves. And once again, this shows why I have the second portfolio and the second Darwin, why everybody else who's building portfolios like I am should have the same. Blaine does as well. For those of you that haven't met Blaine, he was in yesterday's strategy development session. We both have secondary Darwins where we test our systems before putting them live, before putting real capital at risk. And that is a prime example of it. So I will show you, I've since retired the strategy, of course, because I don't want it active anymore. It was this one here. It was a piercing line system. So piercing line is a candlestick pattern, if I'm not mistaken. I built this strategy a while ago. It's on the M5 time frame. This is what the curve looked like before. Have I still got it open on MetaTrader? Yeah. And so you can see today, because of the miscalculation. So this is the back test, and it has taken it into account. You see, it's absolutely, you know, kicked the bucket, which is unfortunate. This is enough for me to, somebody asked me on, I think it was yesterday's session or a couple of days ago, when do you know it's time to remove a system? This is it. I haven't seen this before. Yes, there's been periods where it's dropped off slightly, but nothing like this, nothing to that degree. That is enough for me to say that strategy is dead. It's no longer moving forward. We can see that by, if we take a look at the metrics. So it had a profit factor of 1.64. Its new profit factor is 1.42. So in one trade, it's dropped 0.2 on profit factor. The sharp isn't accurate, so ignore that. Max drawdown has gone from 0.64% to 1.17%. That's already way higher than my allowance for a strategy. And the return's gone down from 2.38 to 1.82. So it still sounds like it's profitable. Like you would still go, oh yeah, but it's still profitable long term. Yes, it is. However, it's nowhere near as profitable or no, that's a wrong way to frame it. It's nowhere near as reliable and robust as it was before that trade. And I'm just looking at that trade shown me whilst it's on my proving ground, as opposed to whilst it's in a live environment. I mean, I guess you could argue LVFZ is still in a live environment, but I'm not. It's not my final place of battle, if you will. Rob, if you have a drop snap, put it in there. Drop snap. What's a drop snap? Swinger Capital. Hey, Kieran, how's it going? All good on my end, Apologies if you hear my dog barking. My kids decide to, every time they come home, they ring the doorbell, which is super annoying. They know I'm on stream, yet they do it anyway because the dog starts barking. So yeah, apologies if you can hear that. But yeah, Swinger Capital, all good on my end, bro. I hope everything is good your end too. Funnily enough, I was actually, 2 seconds. Nala, come here. On your bed, please. On your bed. On your bed. I saw your message earlier. I didn't get a chance to respond to it. I've been crazy busy today, had some admin stuff to do and go through. I think if I remember right, you was asking me about your VAR. Oh my God, on your bed now. The struggles of having a dog. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you was asking me how to smoothen out your curve or your VAR curve. But from what I can remember, let me see. Swinger Capital. Do you have any tips for a swing trader how to reduce my VAR? It should smooth out eventually because I have a nice swing with. Oh, it's not my kids. It's it's the postman. Whoops. Sorry, Mr. Postman. What's he doing with my parcels? He's driven off. Oh well, it is what it is. Poor bloke. He just wanted to deliver a parcel. He's put it by my back door, it looks like. Cool. Anyway, no more getting distracted. Yeah, your VAR is, there's a lot of variance. For example, your VAR yesterday was 17, today is 20% without any changes on my account. Okay, so your value at risk will depend on 4 factors. It depends on your position sizing, the volatility of the assets that you trade, your trade frequency, and your trade duration. I'm presuming that because you're a swing trader, you're holding trades for longer, therefore you have a higher trade duration. Maybe, I don't know what assets you're trading. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's silver. If the volatility of those assets are going higher, then yes, even though nothing's changing from how much position size you have on, the asset volatility may have increased. The length of time that you hold in the trade will, of course, also have increased in that period of time, therefore meaning that your value at risk will increase. It's changing retroactively. It won't change. It changes in real time, so it reacts to real-time data. It doesn't do anything retroactively. Don't worry about your VAR too much. Don't get caught up in it. You kind of get lost down a rabbit hole where you try and fight against something that isn't going to benefit you long term. Let me go back to the original question that you said. I'm risking 0.5% only on my trades, but I can have like 10 to 20 R and even more if I hit some re-entry. Yeah, hitting re-entries will also slightly increase your value at risk, because even though you're in positive margin, as in you might be up if you're scaling into a position, you're still adding more exposure. It's not necessarily a bad thing. We have traders who do it successfully, and their Darwin still looks fantastic. All I will say on this, and of course there's questions that are more relevant, but all I will say is whenever it comes to something like this, just focus on taking the best trades that you can do. Everyone trades different. Focus on how you trade best. The system is designed to complement trading systems, unless you're a grid or martingale trader. They're really the only ones who get smashed by the risk engine. So if you're not gridding or martingaling, then you should be okay. Let me load back TradingView. I haven't looked at stocks today. They got smashed a bit yesterday. Seem to be recovering nicely today. A bit of an open gap on stocks. Rocket Lab, that's still getting smashed. This was the one for the guys who come to last week's session. I said I accidentally bought this when it was only a couple of weeks ago. I think it was somewhere, I think it's like $50, $51, somewhere here. It was literally the day before it rallied, and I bought it on accident. I had a free share on Robinhood, so I deposited some more cash, bought Rocket Lab, and then the next day they announced some, I think it was like an $800 million deal with some company. I can't remember who it was. And yeah, saw the mother of all rallies. Yeah, so your VAR's slightly increased. I wouldn't say it's not increased. It's not increased a lot. Like 17 to 20% is like, I don't know the percentage increase. Maybe like 10, 20%, maybe. I think it's, I mean, it all depends on the position size. And I don't know the trades that you're in, so it's hard for me to kind of give accurate information without knowing the trades. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Three longs on dollar yen. There you go. That's it. It's the yen volatility. Yeah, 10 lots on UJ. Yeah, so it will be because of your position size and because of the trade duration. The good thing is that your variance is getting smaller. So you have the your average VAR, which is the green line, is slightly higher because it takes a look at your 6-month and 45-day average of your value at risk. So that will come down with time as you start to exit those positions anyway. Let me go back after that. Bitcoin up 1.26% on the day. I mean, this just looked cooked in my opinion. I thought it was on daily then because it looks pretty much the exact same on the daily. I think it was it last week I highlighted this level. Said we've got this area here that's like, that's kind of the proving ground or the area that I'd be interested in. In fact, I think I did mention this level. Darwinex 0. Two likes, so somebody's disliked today's video. Well, do you know what? I hope you finish watching this and I hope you stub your toe, dude. This is such a, it's so annoying, like, that people come on and take the time to, like, it doesn't bother me at all. It never would. But the fact that somebody's come onto the session, what have we been on? 25 minutes, press dislike, and then probably clicked off it and never watched, like, not actually watched it, is just super frustrating. Like, get a life, come on. Let's take a look on here, market overview. See if we can find it. I'm sure I spoke about this last week. Do a low trading view? Yeah. There we go. I'm talking about it there. I don't know if you guys hear this. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me. Yeah, so I spoke about that level last week. Yeah, risk 1% said I spoke about it last week as well. And then that's a level that we had highlighted. And that was the day. It was that day that we were speaking about it because I said it looks like we were going to get a retest. And it just fell short off that level. And we're kind of coming back down. So that's the bottom of the range, pretty much got 50% of the range here. So it'd be interesting to see what we do from here. I mean, yesterday was a pretty heavy candle. Would I like to be standing in the way of that? On an FX pair, perhaps. On Bitcoin, perhaps not. You kind of want to see really, now just a disclaimer, I don't trade like this anymore. So I don't really care what Bitcoin does at this point. You know, I 100% trade, I use my portfolio. But if I was looking to trade this, like, I'd want some clarity. Ooh, let's get rid of that. I'd want some clarity about what's going to happen here, because if we just chop about here, it's clear that this area and this area and this area kind of aren't really working as kind of like a range high, range mid, and a range low. If we have some form of clearance down here, and then you could look to get short off the mid range back down to the low, or if we see a recovery back above today, you could potentially look for something. So when we look on the H1, you see it's kind of a nice little recovery here. If we get a push away and then some form of consolidation here, then potentially take the break to the upside, something like that. Something like that, back to the top of the range. That is the kind of thing that, you know, I used to look at as a discretionary trader. Like I say, don't do it too much anymore. However, that level was sort of perfect. I mean, it was clear as day. Like anybody could have seen that level. I would have been also interested in that area. So anywhere between those two. Swing of capital, retest a short, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. Only good long under the range low. Yeah. I mean, when we take this low off in the mid range, like, I also agree. I would rather be short there than a buyer, but I don't know. It all depends on this area here. So, like, again, it's around the mid range. If you get like a daily close above there, then to me, Again, I'm not trading it, so I say this with like with absolutely no conviction in this play whatsoever. I'd rather be a buyer there than a seller. I realize I'm probably the first person who's ever spoke on a trading stream who said something like that. Usually people are, oh no, it could go up, it could go down, or it could just stay here. Like the amount of analysts that I see, or like Twitter analysts who will be like, well, the three things that can happen is it can travel down here or it can go up here, or you might just chop around here. I literally don't care what it does because I'm not going to trade it anyway, and I'm happy to tell you guys that like, I literally won't trade it, so I just don't care. But yeah, and I actually think this would be super healthy to see something down here, see a retest of that area and see how it acts. You have these two highs over here. You have all this activity going on here and a really nice level there. That's something that I would like to see. Now I've been in crypto since 2016, 2017. I think Bitcoin was 2000, maybe 1,000 when I first got involved in crypto. So I've seen a lot of market cycles, and generally, like, this sort of thing is just unsustainable because when the mass retail get involved in crypto, I always used to have a rule. So I used to do, before I got involved with Darwinex, before I got involved with heavily with trading, I guess I was trading mainly with FTMO at the time back in like 2021. I would have a rule, because I was full-time in crypto, that if my taxi driver or if my barber or if my in-laws spoke to me about crypto, I would sell everything that I had and just wait for the crash, and I would rebuy in on the dip. And it kind of feels like that point. It feels like we've been at that point for a while now, where everybody talks about it, everybody knows about it. It's constantly like, you know, buy the dip, buy the dip. But is this really a dip? Like, would you consider this a dip? Or would you consider this a dip? I know which dip I would rather be buying. And it would definitely be somewhere down here, like for spot bags anyway. Yeah, I'm getting off on a bit of a tangent here. I've seen a lot in crypto. I don't trade it anymore. I used to trade it, heavy leverage. I think I told this, did I tell this story last week? I think I did. I used to stay up till like 11, 12 o'clock at night, you know, trading illiquid meme coins on Pancake Swap. Like, is anybody here like a Pancake Swap OG? Who remembers the Binance Smart Chain DeFi days? Quantum Ghost 30k dip. Rapalas, what a nasty prediction. Where's 30k? Down here. I mean, that is a stunning level. If there's ever a level to get long off, it's that level there. That is a stunning level. Yeah, who remembers Pancake Swap? Is it even still around, Pancake Swap? God, it is as well. I bet it looks completely different from what. No, it doesn't. It looks exactly the same. Oh my life. God, this is old school, man. The Pancake Swap. I'm sure $40 when I was on there, maybe even higher. Cake. Yeah, I think the last time I checked Pancake Swap, it was like $40. Let's go all time. Maybe it wasn't 40, maybe, yeah, 2021, that was when I was trading, so it had a higher $40, yeah. How much is it down from all-time high? Where does it tell you this? Down from all-time high, 95.66%. Wow. Quantum Ghost, it's like 2022, most were saying 15k dip was aggressive, then it came there eventually. Yeah, this is the thing with crypto, right? Is and I mean, FX is kind of the same, but crypto has such a low barrier to entry. It has a lot of people who made a lot of money with very little experience in the markets, and so they don't understand that these things are kind of inevitable. I mean, look at this. I have no idea who this Alim Empire is. I don't really care who it is, but look, PancakeSwap is has a volume of $48 million. Okay, TV. I mean, this is still quite big. $2 billion. It's kind of like a stock. I mean, I don't know. He's doing technical analysis with ICT color charts on the 5 minute on PancakeSwap. I mean, come on, like anybody with an ounce of common sense and experience in an institutional setting will tell you that a 5 minute analysis on a liquid meme coin that does $40 million volume in a 24-hour period, it will not respect any sort of order block or fair value gap or any stupid ICT concept that you have in your arsenal. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, that's getting off a bit of a tangent. I remember I'm trying to find the where was the one that I bought? Toad Swap. It was it Toad Swap? No, it can't have been that. It was like it was a PancakeSwap fork. There was one called Smokehouse Finance. This was the first. This was the first or one of the first DeFi projects that I ever bought into. Yeah, it was the Smokehouse. Oh my life, this is a blast from the past. It's not even open anymore. Smokehouse Finance. You basically had to buy tokens, and it was just like aggressive farming. Short ribs, pulled pork, smoked brisket, sirloin butler, smokehouse butler. Like, look at these APRs, 4,000%, 3,000. Like, it's just wild. But I, along with a lot of people, made a lot of money from playing stupid games with this kind of risk. I remember it like it was yesterday. I think the very first one was Golden Eggs DeFi Binance Smart Chain. This was quite a small platform. Let me know in the chat if you remember this, but this was the very first DeFi that I bought into. Golden Eggs BNB. No, it looks like it was that small that no one even remembers it. I don't know. Golden Eggs, Golden Goose. Ooh. I'm sure it was Golden Eggs. But it was like you had to basically bought a goose which laid golden eggs, which then were obviously the token that you could convert for BNB out of the liquidity pool. And of course, as with most DeFi protocols, it was just a farming operation acting as a Ponzi scheme. So it was like all the early players got in, farmed a load of tokens. As soon as it started to pick up and gain some momentum, then, you know, everybody started cashing out. One that I got smashed on, which was a massive Ponzi scheme, I think, was Strong Block, which is this. I was buying, I must have spent 25, 30 grand on nodes with Strong Block. And I was paying up here, I was paying like 10 grand. No, how much was it? Like 6 grand, 8 grand a node. I think I bought 10 and then lost pretty much everything. Yeah, not my best moment. Down 99.57% all time. So, I mean, all this to say is that when we're looking at charts like this, you'll go onto Twitter and you'll see, no, we're never seeing prices down here again because that won't happen. This won't happen. It's too big now. It's too this. It's too that. Let me tell you, things can happen. Like, things can and things will happen. There's always black swan events that can occur. I mean, one that burnt me again was Luna. In fact, we go UST, USDC, USD. No, UST, USDT. Yeah, so, okay, the 2022. Yeah, so I lost a lot of money in this. UST was Terra Luna backed stablecoin. It was trading at $1. Then Do Kwon basically got scammed. And then started paying out a load of cash for things that he didn't know. It was just one big Ponzi, and then it absolutely crashed to zero. These things happen. The same thing happened with the price of Luna USD. Is that classic Luna? Yeah, so I made a lot of money on the way up on Luna and then lost it all on the UST crash. So I was buying Luna at like $2 or something down here, pretty much cashed it out. I think it was like $60, $70. So I pretty much got all the way up here and then lost it all during this crash. And this is the crash where we had the death spiral of UST. And the way it worked was like, it was a mechanism between Terra Luna and UST. And as more UST was minted, the rarer Luna got, and arguably the more valuable it got. Of course, that came crashing down when the death spiral occurred. And yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money. And it basically changed the scope of crypto for a lot of people and a lot of businesses. But even in traditional finance, right? I talk about this example a lot in these sessions, and that's Euro Swissy. Like, if you ever think that this is a safe trade, like, oh, this is risk-free, or there's no risk on this trade, or I trade this because it's low risk, like, think again. There's always things that can happen, right? So this is Euro Swissy. So you got the euro against the Swiss franc, and this is back in so this is 2012, right? And the price level that we're looking at is 119929. And the SNB, the Swiss National Bank, would prop the price of Euro Swissy or hold the floor of Euro Swissy at this point here. So you can see basically any time long in this area was basically what you would consider a free trade. Price wasn't going to go lower because it was a guaranteed fact that the SNB would stand in the way of the market and buy up with all their reserves. They would buy up the currency as much as they needed to stabilize the pair. And then we look further down the line, a few years later, in 2015, on this specific day. Let's just zoom in so it's more relevant. So on this specific day, the SNB announced that they're no longer going to hold the peg of Euro Swissy at 119 or 120, whatever it was. The 120, I guess, is the peg, probably slightly higher. So let's say 120. 1.2. Okay, so that was the peg that they were holding. As you can see, worked really well until it didn't. As soon as they announced that they weren't holding the floor anymore, in comes the fattest red candle you will ever see in your mother effing life, right? How many pips was it, you may ask? Well, I will tell you, my friends. The amount of pips it was 2,268 pips. Now, if we drop down to the hourly, I'm not sure if I can go back that far, to be honest, on the hourly, because I don't have a premium plan anymore on TradingView because I don't use it. When was it 15th of May? Oh no, I can't even go back. Well, let me go back. It's back on the 4 hour. So there's the first 4 hour candle and the second 4 hour candle, and then the third has a slight pullback, and then the fourth 4 hour candle has another 595 pip drop. Like, things can happen, and if you're on the wrong side of that move, so some things that were there was people that were getting things like revised slippages on this day. So people were long up here, and you go, oh, it's okay because my stop is on the other side of the peg, right? You might be trading something like that, and you go, well, I've got to stop here. So as soon as price goes past it, it's going to stop me out. The liquidity was that low during this move that brokers were basically going to be bankrupt if they didn't revise people's stops. So they would call you up or send you an email saying, oh, actually, we're revising your slippage. You actually got filled. So let's say your order was something like this. Yeah, nice little trade. You actually got filled down here. Oh, and by the way, you owe us 20 grand because you lost 20 grand margin on that trade. Okay, like, things can happen. You need to protect yourself as a trader at all times. So, I mean, way off tangent, as always. That's the exciting thing about these sessions, is I just go way off tangent. But that's my point is, when somebody tells you something's a guaranteed thing or something isn't a guaranteed thing, more often than not, it absolutely is, and it absolutely will happen at some point. I mean, this just looks classic for me to just break lower and then visit the bottom side of that range, but we'll see. Tal, hey handsome, how we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. Lift focus. I just made an algo trading strat for Bitcoin so I can trade 24/7. Love that. Make sure you got some solid stats. Make sure the Bitcoin feed is high quality too. Make sure you've got enough data on the Bitcoin feed. And what I would potentially do, if you've coded it in, or if you built it in something like FX Streamer for MQL, test it on a few different broker feeds. because of course you don't want to tailor it to one feed specifically. You might find that, I don't know, the Darwinex feed has some weird thing that happens at X time of day, and therefore it builds the system around that. Just to give an example, I test it on a few different broker feeds, make sure you're getting similar results, no matter what feed that you're trading that on. Something like Bitcoin, where it's a little bit more illiquid, I'd be making sure absolutely that I'd be testing that on as many different feeds as possible. That goes for FX as well, and indices and metals, but I think it's more important with crypto. Quantum Ghost, so true. Twitter was full of 200k Bitcoin, like the previous bull run was 100k. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Like people, I see. My biggest pet hate is when people are like, "Oh, $1 million Bitcoin is programmed in." Like, it's not that I disagree. It's not that I don't think that could happen, but it's like we're so far away from that. Why are you thinking about that now? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, most people who say that have got like 0.05 of Bitcoin. Like, even if it goes to 1 million, you're probably going to make 20 grand. Like, come on, and I just think these stupid predictions to farm engagement just serves absolutely zero purpose whatsoever. And actually, like, you have to be super careful with things that you say around that and price predictions and stuff. One of the things that I've found out recently whilst doing my study for the IMC is like things like that regulators don't take too kind to. So if you're out there calling stupid price predictions on crypto and stuff, just be aware, like, you're not doing the right thing. Crypto, you in and out. Crypto, you in, and if you profit, you take it out and wait for another opportunity. Absolutely. I also think the same is with stocks, like Rocket Lab, for example. This was a lucky pick for me in at 50. It's trading just under 100. Like, it's a 2x on a stock in a couple of weeks, just out of pure luck. Realistically, I should have exited my position. I don't have a big enough position to be worried about. Like, if this goes to zero, I don't care. It wasn't enough of a position to be worried about. If I'd have put substantial money into that, then absolutely, I'd have been taking profit at $90, $100, $80. I've been scaling out of that position. But it's just not big enough for me to be concerned. Lunar Classic was brutal. Yeah, risk 1%. I completely agree. Like, it was a massive wake up call for a lot of people. And then we had Terra Luna, then we had FTX, and there was a few big DeFi projects, but they weren't kind of mainstream that went down at the same time. Like Strong Block, like Yield Nodes, protocols like that. But yeah, Terra Luna and FTX were the big ones. I know a lot of people lost like a lot of money in FTX. I'm sure Trader Main talks about FTX quite a lot. I think he had all of his net worth in FTX, which, in hindsight, and I think Main has said this publicly, like, it wasn't a smart decision to do. And, FYI for anybody listening to this, like, if you have 100% of your trading capital in a broker, like, don't. If you have 100k to trade with, put 10k into a broker and trade it as if it's 100k, but never put 100% of your trust into any business that you're using. These businesses, like brokers, even Darwinex, like, as much as we are regulated, as much as I know we do the right thing, like, from a trader perspective, never put your future career on the line on one single business. Never have a single point of failure. I think that's really, really important. And actually, Blaine and I were talking about this the other day. I think it was before our strategy development session, either this week or last week. And I kind of said, it's worrying in the position that we're in now, because both Blaine and I have fantastic track records. Okay. But what if tomorrow MetaQuotes turn around and go, well, MetaQuotes or MetaTrader is now banned in the UK, or MetaTrader is ceasing operations, or whatever, million things that they could come out and say. And I was like, so we need to find an alternative. Now, luckily, I found a way that we can build in CTrader, and I've also found ways that we can build on TradeStation in a similar no-code block building way. So I'm going to set aside some time, either later on this year, maybe even early next year, trying to duplicate my portfolio onto a different platform like CTrader or TradeStation, just to mitigate my single point of failure risk, which is MetaQuotes. If MetaQuotes decided to stop offering services, where I'm a citizen, then what can I can't trade anymore. I can't use my portfolio. So just something interesting to think about. Lift Locus. I'm using FTMO brokered out at the minute, and I scraped from MT5 on 4-hour time frame. Thanks for your advice. Absolute pleasure, dude. Swing a capital. Just look at the gap on this weekend, for example. Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to be long in a gap like that. I spoke to somebody. Somebody messaged me on Discord on Market Open this week, and they were basically asking if there's anything that we could do about the slippage on the weekend. And I was like, listen, I've been there. It sucks. But this is why you shouldn't really be holding positions unless you're a long-term swing trader and you have a long-term position on with wide stops, wide targets. You shouldn't be leaving positions into the weekend, because this gap can wipe out months worth of hard work if mismanaged. If you've got a 10 tick stop up here and you get gap down, how many ticks is that gap? 96. Okay, so you could lose 10 times what you should have lost on that trade. Like, it can wipe out months, if not a year worth of hard work. Yeah, BlockFi Celsius. Yeah, Celsius, man. I pulled my money from Celsius like a couple of weeks before they went down. My dad I think my dad had about $600 worth of Matic or Polygon in Celsius when they went down. He just didn't react quick enough. I'd managed to get all of mine out. I didn't have a lot in there. I think I had like $5 grand, $6 grand. But unfortunately, I took it out of Celsius and put it into something else that got rugged. So, I didn't save that money, which is unfortunate. Tal said that's 20K for XAQP. Yeah, baby. Fill it up. Fill it up. Only Nexo survived out of all those guys. Nexo's still around. God, it seems like a lifetime ago. So I used to have, let me see if I can find a picture. I used to have, an office. Let me see. I've got a picture anywhere. Your media. Might be on my Telegram actually. So here is me. This is me years ago. When was this? I don't even know when this is. I was skinny back then. So this was my trading office. This was my setup. I still have this same setup now. And this was when I was mid trading DeFi meme coins, like back in 2020. This is probably 2022. I think we used to put Bloomberg TV on in here. This says, I can't. It's probably a good job that's blurry, because it was something like, what did it say exactly? This guy, he was called Jake, real nice guy. Like he was a bit younger than me and Chris, who sat here. So this was my desk. This was Chris's. And Jake was a little bit younger than us. And so he was kind of like the little brother of the office. And we were teaching him how to trade, and, with the idea of building not necessarily a fund, but more like a little trading desk between the three of us where we could go out and raise capital and trade it. And he just, bless him, couldn't get used, like he couldn't make trading successful no matter how hard he tried. So we wrote a few choice words on this piece of paper and we stuck it in front of his screen. If I remember right, there was a CUNT word on there, and a couple of other not very nice comments, basically telling him if the trade looks rubbish, don't take it. He also scammed himself in crypto quite a few times. He was investing money on behalf of his mom and dad, and ended up sending their money to a wallet address that didn't exist and losing a lot. So he learned a lot of life experiences in this office, unfortunately. I mean, it's funny looking back now, because I know that, like, after, there we go. Wild. I know that like he survived that, and you know nothing bad really came from it. It was just hard in the moment. So yeah, looking back, it's kind of funny, but at the time, it yeah, defo wasn't funny. I wonder if we've got any more pictures of the office. Oh wow, I just found a picture from when I ruptured my bicep. It does not look nice. Oh my god, look at my old chart colors. Disgraceful. What on earth was I doing? Like, why would I have chart colors like that? Gross. Absolute gross. Swinger Capital. I took a bad loss on the weekend gap on one of my challenge accounts on Euro Swissy, risking 1%, took a 4% loss. It was bad, but you can't do anything about it. Yeah, it is what it is. The best thing to do is just move on and try not to make the same mistake again. Golf tournament, not gold. Have I got any more pictures anywhere? We had two offices. So we had the first one, and then we moved. This was during COVID, so maybe it was earlier than 2022. Maybe it's 2020. It's probably 2020. Yeah, because I had my little girl. He was a Dex that I was building. So I was building a Dex at the time. I was just trying so many different things. So I built all the front end to the Dex. It was okay. It was nothing great, but ended up abandoning the idea. It's like a flashback into my past. This is how far back we got to go. So I had the one office that we started renting at the beginning of COVID with all these hopes and dreams of, you know, we were both self-employed, we were both trading full time. And the idea was, okay, let's go all in on trading, which I don't recommend anybody does anymore. Like I did it was fun, but that's all it was. It was fun. It didn't serve us in any way in terms of like, it just wasn't the right decision to do. We weren't prepared for it from an experience perspective, but we had a bit of cash behind us, both personally and you know, professionally. So we went all in on trading, opened up an office, and then things went well for a couple of months. So then we upgraded the office, and then the crypto crash happened, and yeah, we decided to give up the office because we just stopped using it. I think I stopped using the office because I had young kids at the time, and so I wanted to spend more time at home, especially because I'd just been ransacked by every crypto founder that there was, and was just fed up with the market. Oh my god, I can't believe how many. Has anybody got that one friend where you've just got thousands and thousands of photos that you've sent to each other? Like I can't even. I must be years back. I'm 2022. Like I'm still nowhere near office days. Here we go. I know you can't see what I'm doing. That's probably because there's things in a media folder that I probably can't share. But document just publish. Oh, sorry, dude. I did see your other messages. I didn't call them out. Good afternoon, Kieran. Thank you, dude. Good afternoon to you too. If you got time, don't know what the agenda is to do. Made considerable progress in trading strategy and loading lot size and grid. If you got time, take a look at BQPN. I'll take a look at BQPN tomorrow, dude, because that's on Thursday. That's when I review the Darwin. So come back tomorrow at the same time as today, and I'll take a look for you 100%. I got into Bitcoin when it was approximately £200 per coin. Sick. I mean, it's funny. I think, how much was it when I first heard about it? $600-700, and then I actually got involved when it was like $1,000. And it's one of those, like, I always think if I'd have just held what I bought originally, I'd be so rich now. But then I'm like, would you have held it all the way to when it is now? Would you have held it from $1,000 to 120 grand? Knowing me, I probably wouldn't have. But it's always interesting to see how far you've come in that time. So here was our first office. So this was the first office that we had. Wrong way. It was just this tiny little room, but it was wicked because it was like a new adventure for us, where we were like, do you know what? This is fantastic. This is where we're going to build our dreams and make them a reality, and this is where we're going to do bits, and we did, but it was like not there. We had to grow a lot as people and as traders before we actually kind of started to see the success of it paying off. And then we painted that back wall. We painted this back wall black and put our logo on. So our logo was like a big Greek A. I don't know if I've got a picture of it. That's when we painted the wall. Quantum Girl said, "This is such cool memories." Yeah, I mean, it's funny looking back. Here's a guy. This is a random dude, but he sent it to me, and he looks just like me. I don't know if you guys see that. He just looks like me with a beard. But yeah, have I got anything? Any more? Here we go. Here we go. This was us in this. This was in the second office. So obviously having some pics for the Instagram. Back when I used to post about trading a little bit. What are we watching there? Yeah, so I was watching Bloomberg. Oh, it's yeah, Chris swearing at Jake. Oh my life, it's a blast from the past. This is. But yeah, interesting times. It's always fun to look back and kind of see where you come from. Old school trading view, love it. Like it's always cool to look back and kind of see how far you've come, because you forget when you do these kind of things day in, day out. You forget how far you come in such a short space of time. And I mean, I'm quite lucky. I learned to play the guitar at the same time I started learning how to trade. So if I ever go through a rough patch with trading, I'll subconsciously go and like wallow in self-pity playing the guitar. And then it kind of makes me realize, oh, actually, you can play the guitar now just as you can trade. Like, it's not always about the day or even the week or the month. It's about the skill overall. And whilst you might have like bad patches, bad periods, bad days, weeks, months, like overall, you're still good at that one thing, that skill. Oh my God, I've just realized how many messages I've got. I don't know if you guys can see that. 26 on Slack. I never have that many on Slack. I wonder what's going on. People just hammering me. But yeah, anyway, that was a little fun trip down memory lane. Shabazz, how we doing? Hope you're all good. I presume that you're gonna ask me a question because you said hello and then you said bro. Feel free to ping your question in. Yeah, 100% me. Yeah, it did look like me. I've got quite a few doppelgangers. There's one who lives on my estate actually, and we look exactly the same. You know, you can't usually see your own doppelgangers. Like, you can't usually see it. And everybody else is like, oh, you look just like that person. You're like, no, I don't. There's a guy who lives on my estate and I know it and he knows it. Like, we walk past each other and we just laugh at each other because it's like, it's so weird. Like, we walk past and we clock eyes and we just both start creasing because it's so weird how similar we are. It's freaky, man. It's freaky. But yeah, Shabazz, I'm gonna give you another minute or so, and then I'm gonna have to call it an end to the session. Oh, Pepsi Max Cherry, by far the best drink out there. M. Shabazz said, I liked your last session, which was on algo trading. I appreciate that, dude. We'll be doing those sessions every Tuesday, myself and Blaine. I was setting up for the guys who were in yesterday's session, where we was covering kind of basics of portfolio building and algo development, or at least no code algo development. And I come up with the idea to build a charity Darwin where we build the Darwin on those interactive sessions. We get you guys involved. We build a portfolio of systems that we run on a Darwin that is specifically for charity. Then I was signing up today to do that Darwin. And I realized that if I sign up in my name, all of the income that is, pardon me, all the all of the revenue that is made by that Darwin will be my tax liability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to Javi or somebody at Darwinex, and I'm going to see if we can do it through the business, and then do like a gift aid to charity on any of the payouts that we get. So if we get $1,000, if we get $4,000, if we get $10,000, however much it is, all of that will get donated to charity. It'll be something that makes us feel good, something that, you know, we will all contribute to, and something that, you know, it will be a fun journey for you guys to see. And again, like, giving back, like I hate the I'm giving back, so I'm opening up a mentorship. I'm giving back to, like, come on, you're not giving back. Like, that is really giving back to people who need it most. And Shabazz, why don't you trade on XNES just like Darwinex Zero for investors? Because XNES is a word that I won't say on this because I don't want to get done for defamation. First and foremost, I mean, I could. The issue with my portfolio specifically is I need a decent amount of margin to run my strategies, and I wouldn't want to deposit that amount of margin into XNES. Let's put it that way, or many other brokers, to be completely honest with you. And yeah, you like, yeah, it's the infrastructure is just completely different. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of copy trading infrastructure. I don't really know too much about XNES's copy trading. All I know is there's like a bunch of scams on there. If I remember, one of our traders talking about it the other day. Oh, Quanda Pro. Here we go. Where is it? XNES. So he's listed. This is one of our traders. He's actually listing his strategy on XNES. Where's his? I can't remember what his Darwin is. Here we go. One of the most copied strategies on XNES just got absolutely destroyed. Top 8 most copied strategies on XNES are managed by Vietnamese traders. 7 of them has 50% plus drawdown. Like, this is the kind of thing that you see on XNES, and I'm just not like, I wouldn't want to be associated with that. I mean, come on, 3,383 active investors investing into a guy who has zero capacities to scale. Like, I mean, 80% draw. Like, why are these guys in XNES? Why aren't they at Darwinex? That's what I want to know. We don't have a single Darwin that has anywhere near 3,000, 3,500 investors. Like, XNES should just bring their investors to Darwinex. We do the trading, and yeah, maybe that's what we'll look at doing. I want to see what Quando's Darwin is. There we are. What did he say there? Officially crossed 1 million. Is it OFOW? I'm sure this is Quanda's. Yeah, Quanda Pro. OFOW. Yeah. 1 million investor capital. Phenomenal work. In a bit of stagnation recently since mid last year, but still looking decent. Green year after year. Bit of a struggle starting this year, but I have no doubt that he will turn it around and will continue to new highs. I don't mind stagnation like this as long as a big drop off doesn't follow it. Yeah, I've seen way too many systems recently where there's just been a massive drop off afterwards. I mean, I'm not going to name any, but yeah, it's sad to see. Like, I've seen quite a few systems that have just been brutalized over the past 6 months, and it's such a shame. Like, seeing people who, you know, just crack it or seem to crack it consistently like this, and then ultimately give it all back in such a short space of time. M Shabazz, please make a video on your struggle in starting phase of trading. Wow. I mean, I don't think there's a video that could cover that long. I don't even know what my struggles were. There was too many. Yeah, there's just too many of them. But maybe that's something that I'll do a session on in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. I've gone all sleepy now. I don't know why. Yeah, there's the big man. Whoop whoop. Live on mine, Darwinex and Darwinex Zero. But yeah, guys, LVF said, come on, I have faith. I have faith we can recover and rebuild that record. XAQP has taken a little bit of a battering today. Nothing serious. It's been on a hot streak of January, so I don't mind having. I mean, it's minus 0.29% on the day. It's barely anything. Still up 4.2% for the month. Curve looking super healthy. Not far from 200k investors. One investor's dropped off, which is a shame. Is what it is. Would like to see 200k by the end of this month, ideally. And Javi also said that he would be allocating me to index soon, which is super cool, super exciting, which will likely give me a nice boost to my investor capital. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, because I'm absolutely battered. I was woke up at 4 a.m. this morning to somebody snoring. It was either next door or next door's dog. Don't know which one it was, but it was one of them, and it woke me up at 4 o'clock, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I'm absolutely knackered now. Yeah, I really am tired. That's the problem. I should probably do these streams earlier on in the day when I'm more fresh. But the problem is then I miss out all the Americans. Yeah, soon Darwinex will have that much investors in one. Darwin can only get bigger and bigger. Yeah, absolutely. We're having some really interesting conversations at the moment, and kind of the way it's going now is the majority of AUM moving forward likely will get put into the index, and that will likely filter through to individual Darwins. Of course, we will always have investors who come in and allocate to single Darwins. I think my biggest investor has about 80 grand invested into me. So he makes up like half of my investment. So it's kind of, if he goes, my AUM halves. So we have a few whales like him, but the majority of AUM moving forward, I reckon, will go through the index. This is leveraged out on the trader level because if not, then the index would make like 1% per year. So we leverage that up by 7 times. So this actually translates to over 100 million AUM to individual traders, which is fantastic. So it's a lot more than what you see here. So yeah, interesting. Good times, tired times, happy times. I think it's time that I go and have a sit down, have a nap. No, I can't have a nap. My kids will be home soon. But yeah, just rambling because I don't know what to say anymore. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your questions. Today was a relatively chilled session. Tomorrow we will be back at 4 p.m. UK time to do a Darwin review. So who was it? Where are you? Document just published. What was your Darwin again? BQPN. Yeah, if you hop back on the session tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time, then I'm happy to take a look at BQPN. We can do an analysis and take a look at some of the changes that have been made. So with that said, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching from in the world. Or if you're watching this on the recording, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you tomorrow in the next live session. Peace out, gang. Have a good one.